Hello everyone and welcome to today's race, which is the FIA Nations Cup from the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And today's cars are the Group One LMP1 cars. So there I am in fourth place. I had a decent qualifying lap. I always try and keep it as clean as possible on these FIA races, as you only get one lap really to put in a good one, so you need to make sure that it's a good one. You don't want to be going wide and losing two or three seconds and ending up at the back of the grid. So on to the start of the race. You see it's a rolling start. I'm using the Toyota hybrid in today's race. I did most of my practice in the Audi, but I realised quite quickly that it's fast over one lap, but after a couple of laps you lose the energy harvesting from the battery and it kind of ends up a bit slower. So with the Toyota, so you can see here going into turn one I managed to pick up one place as Gaz from Ireland goes a little bit wide there. Again, using the cockpit view, it's quite tricky in these cars. You can't see too much, but you know, after a bit of practice you do get used to it. Everyone going a little bit deep into that first hairpin, just making sure no one catches them out up the inside there, and then coming down into this right hander, braking downhill, making sure you're not putting it in too deep with just a little bit of nudge from behind, and the guy nudges me, goes around, and looks like that's the end of his race, unfortunately. You really got to be careful on that first lap on those cold tyres to make sure you don't go in too deep and outbrake yourself, especially when you've got people in front of you, otherwise you're going to just send them off the track, or in his case send yourself into a spin. So careful on the cold tyres, especially if you just qualified on the softs and then you start on a harder compound. You're going to have less grip, so less braking ability. So third position then, really pleased with that start. Just need to make sure I keep the lap times consistent, try to see if I can put some pressure on second place at this point, and pull away from the car behind. So riding on board then, braking at the flag indicator marker just there, turning in, get the car rotated, then on the throttle early to give you a good speed down the straight. You can see I'm not really making much progress on the car in front, so braking at the flag indicator board again, late apex, let the car drift that wide and squeeze the throttle, keeping it nice and over to the right, shifting down into third, sometimes into second there if you need a bit more rotation, back up to third, fourth, down to third, and try and straighten up that right hander as much as possible, nice and early on the throttle. Coming up to the final two corners, down two gears, turn in nice and early, let it drift out wide, and then again flick it down a gear, drifting out wide again on the throttle early and onto the straight. So jumping forwards on to lap 7 now. We're going to be riding on board with Gaz from Ireland, who's just behind me. He's kept quite close over the first few laps, and to be honest he's putting a bit of pressure on me. You see here I've turned in a little bit too early, let it run out wide a little bit onto the curbs, and he managed to get a good run down on me into the second to last corner here. So side by side here, and I decided to just let him have it. It's a long race and there's no point losing too much time. You know, I got out of shape, and if I tried to defend that position we could have both ended up off the track, so it's better to just let him have it, and I'm sure there's going to be an opportunity later on in the race to try and get past. So you can see there we're just passing one of the leaders that has pitted already, so he's obviously on a slightly different strategy, pitting quite early, so I reckon he's probably on a two-stop strategy and I'm on a one-stop, so starting on the mediums and moving on to the hards later in the race. So you can see as the guy behind is just pitted, he's on fresh rubber, so he's going to be all over the back of me right now, as my tyres are 8 laps old. So it's hard to know what to do. Should I pit now or should I try and let it go? But I see him right on my tail, so I decide to head into the pits, put on the hard tyres, and we'll have to go a little bit longer than we wanted to, but again it's probably going to save me more time than getting caught up racing on track. So a good pit stop, no need to refuel, and rejoining the track in 5th place. So coming down towards the end of my outlap, and Gaz from Ireland has pitted, so it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out. Just cross the start finish line. It's showing me ahead of him at the moment, but by the time we get up around the first corner, we're definitely going to be a lot closer. And yeah, he's out of the pits already, so I've actually lost a little bit of time to him. I think my outlap on the hard tyres probably wasn't as quick as it should have been. And you can see the guy behind me is starting to put on some real pressure now. But I know that I've already done my stop. I'm on the hard tyres. I can go to the end of the race, and I know he either hasn't stopped or he's stopped and taken some softer tyres. So he definitely needs to stop again, that's for sure. If you ride on board. Ooh, letting the back end kick out a little bit there. Again, you can see just how much he's all over the back of me now. He's getting better traction out of the corners as well. So he's definitely on a softer compound tyre here. And like I said, my race isn't really against him. So if he gets up the inside of me at any point, I'm just going to let him pass. So riding on board with him now, and you can see he's just got more grip through the corners. He's able to take a tighter line, get on the throttle a little bit earlier, and he's really putting the pressure on. You see his apex speed is just a little bit quicker than mine, and I've gone a little bit wide there. He's got the run on me, so I know I'm not racing against him, and I know best thing to do is just let him through when I can. But I got a little bit distracted there, ended up drifting wide, and rather than try and get on the throttle and get back around the last corner as quick as I can, I just waited a little bit, let him through, and then got in behind him, hoping that he can maybe help to drag me up to the back of Gaz from Ireland, who is the real person we're racing against here. Lap 14 now, as we come up the hill approaching the first hairpin. You can see just ahead there, Gaz has a penalty, so he's got to slow down for, I think it was a half second. That gives the other guy a chance to get past, and it allows me to close up onto the back of him going into the downhill braking zone. 6 laps left, and I've got a real chance of getting past him at some point now. So the track limits are quite strict on this track and in these cars, so if you run a little bit wide and don't ease off the throttle, you can end up with a half-second penalty quite easily, which you have to slow down for in one of the penalty zones. So coming around the final 2 corners, you can see I'm really getting up close to him now. Just waiting for the chance to get past. He moves to the right to try and break my slipstream, and I follow him through the first corner. He's got a little bit sideways, and I've got a good exit. Again, in the slipstream makes such a massive difference on this straight. You see as I come into the hairpin, really up close, within a metre or 2 of it at the back end of him there. We ride on board down the back straight. Taking a tighter line, getting on throttle earlier. I just know if I don't make any mistakes and keep putting him under pressure, at some point he's going to make an error, which will give me the opportunity to get through. And you can see there the guy in third isn't really pulling away from the both of us, so his softer tyres must be starting to wear out a little bit now, as we both close up on him. As Gaz goes a little bit wide there, which means I've got a real chance going up into this hairpin to get past him. Back to the cinematic camera, side by side, as we go past the back marker and up the inside. Fantastic, move done. Having a quick look at the position indicator on the left, I think all 3 ahead of me still have a chance to stop, so there's a real chance of getting a good result here. I'm definitely going to jump the person in third once he pits. I'm not too sure how far up the road first and second are and how long the pit stops will take, but there's definitely an opportunity here to get a good result. Coming down the hill, and third place is pitted, so his tyres are done, and that moves me up to a podium finishing position. Okay, jumping forward onto lap 18 now. You can see second place is pitted. And I've got ahead of him. So first place, he pitted a little bit earlier, so he is that car just up the road, and we'll ride on board with him now. Looking behind, you can see me just coming into view. So he's about 3 seconds up the road, only 2 laps left though, so there's not really any chance of me catching him up. My main threat is Gaz from behind, who's still quite hot on my tail. You can see there, so it's going to be all about defending really for this final lap and a half. As you can see, a back marker who's obviously pitted on softer tyres and lingering just behind Gaz. He's blurred out though, so he won't interfere with our race if he tries to unlap himself. So coming around the final 2 corners to start our final lap of the race. Really trying to hold on to this second position. Try and make sure I'm not out braking myself, making any errors. You can see there on the right hand side my lap times have been pretty consistent throughout the race. I think I managed the tyres quite well. I've made the one-stop strategy work quite well. I think if maybe I hadn't made a few of those mistakes in the early laps, where I let Gaz pass, for example, I might have had a chance to be up on the back of first position now. But yeah, but overall I'm pretty pleased with how the race has gone. So we're looking back, trying to just deal with the pressure. Only a couple of corners to go now as we ride on board with Gaz. You see I've gone a little bit sideways, but you can't quite get up the inside. But I think I've just about done it, as long as I don't make any mistakes and he doesn't go for a kamikaze attempt through the last corner. You just run a little bit wide there too. So there we go, across the line, in second place in today's FIA race at the Red Bull Ring. So thanks for watching, and I will see you on track again soon.